This is a DIY microphone, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made it. All of the stuff that you see right here is everything you need to make a microphone, so it's not that much. We're going to use this long piece of wood, then we're also going to use a piece of paper, a magnet, and then we're also going to use coil. I made this coil myself. It is just a paper tube with some copper wire wrapped around it. It's got about 250 windings, so it took a very long time to make it. And at last but not least, we've also got this cable, which has a 3.5mm plug on one side and these two plugs on the other side. It was actually a very cheap cable. And that is all we need to make a microphone. So now we're going to take this piece of wood, and as you can see, this bit is kind of a mess. We don't want to use this. We're going to mark it right here. We don't want that bit. Then we want to make it 20 centimeters long. This mark is at 6 centimeters, as you can see. That means we are going to mark it at 26. So there we have it, our nice piece of wood that is exactly 20 centimeters long. Now I'm just going to use some sandpaper to make the edges nice and smooth. After that, we're going to mark this with a T. That means that this side is going to be at the top of the microphone. We're going to measure it like that. We're going to put a mark right here, so 2 centimeters from the top and 10 centimeters from the top of the microphone. After that, make sure that this mark is right here. This one doesn't really matter. It could be a line, could be a cross, could be an X. Doesn't matter. Now it's time to take the remaining piece of wood, okay? And then we are going to saw off a piece of wood that is, let's say, 3 centimeters long. So now we've got this very small piece of wood, and again I'm going to sand it to make the edges nice and smooth. So now we are going to take this small piece of wood and we're going to glue it exactly on top of this mark. So we're going to attach it to the bigger piece of wood. The next step is to take a drill bit that is exactly the same size as your magnet. In my case, that is a 9mm drill bit. So now we're going to drill a hole right here, and we don't want to go all the way through. So beware of that. Don't drill all the way through the piece of wood. So now there is a hole right here. The next thing we need to do is just take our magnet and put it into the hole. Next, we're going to take the piece of paper and we're going to lay it right next to it. This piece of paper needs to be about this long. So I'm just going to mark it right here. Then the piece of paper also needs to have the same width as the piece of wood. So we're just going to lay it on top and then push it down, and you can just cut it off just like that. Then we are going to take the coil Now this is very important. The coil needs to slide onto the magnet, just like that. So if we take the piece of paper and just lay it right next to it, the coil should be about right there. And now we're going to use glue to attach the coil to the piece of paper. The next step is to attach the piece of paper to the wooden frame using glue. So let's just put some glue onto this piece of wood right here. And then we just gently attach the paper to the wood. After that, this is what it should look like. So now we're going to do some wiring. Let's take a wire like this one and cut it in half so that we've got 2 wires. Then I'm going to strip off the ends, just like this. Now after that, we are going to bend both wires in a 90-degree angle. Just like this. Now we're going to attach these 2 wires to the side, just like this. So as you can see right here, we've got the copper wires that are directly attached to the coil. So they should be very close to these wires. So we are going to attach those wires to the side of the frame. And we're going to mount it using duct tape. So now we have successfully mounted these 2 wires to the microphone. So now we are going to solder these 2 wires of the coil to the 2 wires that we just attached to the microphone. As you can see, both of the wires are now connected. So the last thing that we have to do is make a little stand for the microphone. Just take a flat piece of wood and mark it about right here, I guess. That'll be the foot of the microphone. So now we're going to use glue to attach the microphone to its foot. We've just created a microphone. Now let's connect the microphone to a computer and see if it actually works.
Okay, so here we are at the desk and ready to connect the microphone to the computer. So first of all, we grab this cable with the 3.5mm plug on one end and these 2 plugs on the other end. The 3.5mm plug will go into the computer and one of these plugs will be connected to the microphone. So now we are going to grab a crocodile clip wire and connect that to the central pin of the white plug. Then we are going to connect the other end to the microphone, to one of the wires of the microphone. And the last thing we need to do is connect this to the other wire of the microphone. I'm just going to use my fingers to hold it against it. and then we just have to plug the other end into the computer, and all that's left is to record something to see if it works. So without further ado, here's the test recording that I recorded using the DIY microphone. This is a test recording of the DIY microphone. This is exactly what it sounds like without any modification. So yes, the sound quality kind of sucks, but that doesn't really matter, because I think it's still quite an achievement that it actually works, and also I enjoyed making it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.